The spiritual path for an individual who's becoming aware of their surroundings. Realizing that the way we live can be entirely different is a completely different journey altogether. This might sound like a trivial idea, but it's not. Many people who wake up want to awaken and still keep the same habits. The exact same approach to life, the same emotional behavior, the same automatic responses, and the same pace. Everything remains the same, but now with much more wisdom, with a significantly broader perspective on life, and with a true sense of elevation, of the complex emotions I feel. But all of this is very contradictory. This is primarily because the life you live is perfectly aligned and consistent with exactly who you are at this very specific point in your life. If you truly believe that your life is perfectly fine and you are doing okay, then everything is fine. But when you start to wake up, you automatically start to see that not everything is fine, that there are things that could be better, could be different, or maybe shouldn't even exist in your life anymore. So it's not possible to change one thing without changing another. It's like thinking, I'm going to take a shower, but I'm not going to get wet. If you want to take a shower, great, but know that you're going to get wet. If you don't want to get wet, then don't take a shower. You're here because you're meant to be different. Everything you desire deep down in your soul is to be different. And being different, believe me, truly covers much more than 90% of your life entirely. Being different in your inner feelings can truly and completely change the direction of your entire path in life. There's really no way you can be different and still stay exactly where you are, or remain the way you are right now. Honestly, there is just absolutely no way for that to happen. You are a being who is in a process of transformation. Whether it's happening slowly or quickly really depends on your own acceptance or on your resistance to it. But it is happening. You might be slowly changing in ways you didn't even fully realize were bothering you. Things that were there day after day, quietly poisoning your mind, but you just didn't notice. Because it had been there for so long, you just didn't even notice it anymore. But when you started to wake up, you began to see that started to feel a little or a lot too tight. It turned into something truly uncomfortable, and it didn't used to be. And for many people in their lives, a discomfort, the discomfort of knowing that they're heading down a path toward harmony, but that this path to harmony is gradually pulling them away from every single thing that had never actually made them uncomfortable, but it never made that specific version of themselves uncomfortable. That version of yourself from before you woke up. Because if you really take a moment to think deeply about your true feelings toward that person, those specific situations, or that particular aspect of your life, you will begin to see that those things no longer make your heart leap with joy like they used to do. Those very same things now just leave you feeling confused, with many lingering question marks in your mind that weren't there before. They really make you wonder, what else could possibly be out there beyond this, beyond this relationship, beyond this job, Beyond this specific role I play with my immediate family, with my professional coworkers, and with my local neighbors, beyond, what else is there? Beyond that, you are changing. And the more you truly accept that as you change, your entire life will change right along with you. The people around you will no longer perceive you in the same way they used to. As you continue to grow and evolve, the more you realize this truth, the more natural and seamless this entire transition will start to feel for you. Because if you're undergoing significant personal changes and you start actively resisting or fighting against those changes, you inevitably and automatically slow down your own growth because an inner struggle begins. So imagine this. You're really trying to focus and study for an important test, maybe even a big exam coming up soon. And all of a sudden, your neighbor next door starts blasting loud music out of nowhere. Or, just as you're getting into your study groove, the neighbor and his wife start having a heated argument, shouting and fighting with each other. And all of that turns into a huge distraction, and you can't concentrate anymore. You simply cannot give your absolute best effort because in that specific moment, you are being completely distracted. You're being led far off your intended path. So that is exactly what you do when you try to resist the various changes happening in your life right now. So tell me, are you more worried about the reasons why that old friend of yours doesn't call you anymore? Or are you worried about why you suddenly stopped liking that specific individual? And that person is a wonderful person. You start to worry and wonder, why exactly has that job become so incredibly hard for me now? It wasn't before. It didn't bother me before. You're fighting with your own life. And since your life is created by you, your life is you. You're fighting against yourself. And when that happens, your energy, which should be going toward expansion, toward new knowledge, toward a new version of yourself, it simply brings this this feeling of discomfort only transports you directly into the low frequency vortexes you create or have already created. You are changing. You simply cannot forget that. Every day you change. Even if your life today seems exactly the same and nothing different is happening, that's only because you're not looking closely enough. Because if you look very closely at your life, if you pay careful attention to every single detail, every day, every conversation that starts, every conversation that comes up again, every new situation or every situation from the past that resurfaces, if you observe everything in your life more closely, you'll see patterns, you'll see schemes, and most importantly, you'll see your own shadows manifesting. And in that specific moment, that is actually the most important moment of all. It is the exact moment when you finally become fully aware of it, of what causes you pain, of what causes you deep discomfort, and of what is present in your consciousness, but that you simply hadn't realized before. You hadn't realized it existed. Your shadows are right there. They're your fears, your doubts, your desire for changes to happen only in one way. The desire to rekindle that past that was once so beautiful, so interesting, that brought you so much pleasure, but now that same situation doesn't bring you joy anymore. To rekindle the past. It's not always possible. And the more aware you become, the more you can see. When it's time to say, I was very happy, but today I'm not anymore. Or when it's time to honestly ask yourself, Let me take a much more thorough look to see if I'm really truly dedicating all my love to this situation. All kinds of relationships, whether they're deeply personal, professional, or even romantic, are vital. They are. Think of them as a compass, because within these connections, you truly see yourself. The specific way your relationships happen clearly shows your inner resistances, shows your hidden shadows, shows your inner light, shows your capacity for love, shows your nervousness, and shows your deep ingratitude or your profound gratitude. They show everything about you. However, it is not always a very easy task to look at that reflection in the mirror and truly face what you see. So, when the image is really ugly, you tend to say that it's not you. It's not your image. You weren't the one who did it. It was already there. You have nothing to do with it. The test is the illusion of separation. But the divine reality is that everything is connected and nothing can come into your life. No gesture, no word, no situation. Nothing, nothing, absolutely nothing can come into your life, can be integrated into your reality unless you have first created it within yourself. So, what you see outside is just a reflection of what you already have inside. And the more you carefully observe and actively transform, the more you transform yourself. And as you transform, you gradually raise your internal frequency, expand your consciousness, and manifest entirely new and much higher situations in your life. All of this is ready, it's available to you. The speed at which you move forward depends entirely on this. It depends on how much you are accepting and how much you are actively resisting. From there, all the paths and all the speeds for you to walk will eventually derive.